We talked about technologies that you are going to need for this course, which are HTML and CSS. So here on this video, let's talk about CSS a little bit more in depth. If you're going to be testing your email, or should I say when you are going to be testing your email in different clients and different servers, you will notice that your emails are rendered in a little bit different way from one client to another. And this is the first problem. You will have to do a lot of testing to avoid mistakes and to avoid differences in the way your emails look. So let's talk about CSS that are going to be used in your HTML emails. Let's say you are creating an HTML page and you are applying this many CSS rules to the HTML page. Now when you render this HTML page in a browser, you will see that it looks approximately the same in every browser, because almost all the CSS rules are going to be executed. They work almost the same in every browser. But when it comes to emails, the situation a little bit different. If you apply the same number of CSS rules to HTML email, you will see that I would say half of them will be ignored by the email client, email server, or any other service that is in line. So working with CSS in HTML emails is more like unlearning some of the CSS and applying only those CSS rules which are allowed by the server. That's why I noticed that you will have a lot of testing in your work, and you're going to need a couple of accounts on different popular servers to do the testing. But you're not going to be doing testing for every CSS rule, don't worry. Other developers have already created a couple of tools that are going to help you a lot in testing your CSS. One of the tools is called the Ultimate Guide to CSS by Campaign Monitor. This is a collection of CSS that is tested in different clients and different servers. So let's say we are creating an HTML email and we are applying text shadow to one of the paragraphs, and we're not sure if this CSS rule is going to work in Gmail server, in Microsoft server, in your client like Outlook or BET or something else. So all we need to do is to consult this online service. So we go to Campaign Monitor CSS and we're going to find the one CSS rule that we're interested in. So let's say we talk about text shadows should be somewhere here. There it is. You open this CSS rule and it's going to give you the information where exactly this CSS rule is going to work and where it will be ignored by the renderer. So one and the same email will look a little bit different for people who use Android for mail application on mobile and people who watch the same email in G Suite in the browser. So once again, Outlook Express is going to demonstrate to you text shadow on the desktop, but the same email will look without text shadows if you look at this email in Gmail in your browser. So this is the difference between renderer of web-based Gmail and desktop-based Outlook application. So these are the differences that you are going to learn here with the help of such services. Now one more service that is alternative to Campaign Monitor is called Elastic Email, and it provides almost the same information in different form. So let's say we are creating an email and we would like to know if a rule which is called border is going to work in our email in the browser. So if we use in browser and if we go into outlook.com, the border is going to work there. If we use in browser and we go to yahoo.com, we are going to see the border in the email and so on. So let's say if we want to know if the same CSS rule border is going to work on desktop. On desktop everything is going to work in the same way, but you can see that border radius, for example, is not going to work in some of the applications, and so on. So this is a very useful service, and it's free, and it's very useful for HTML email developing. So once again, speaking about CSS in your HTML emails is more like unlearning some of the CSS and constantly making sure if this or that rule is going to work in this or that application, this or that server, and so on. And like I said before, testing will be like 30 to 40% of your HTML email developing job.